Hello, my dear friends. It's Mary sending a wave of warmth from my sun-drenched California porch. There's a hummingbird visiting my feeder right now, a tiny, iridescent miracle, and watching it reminds me of something profound. The most powerful forces in nature are often the most gentle. The sun that coaxes the flowers to open, the steady tide that shapes the coastline, the quiet persistence of a tiny bird. We don't need to be a hurricane to make a difference in our own lives. We can be the hummingbird. We can be the tide. Today, let's explore this idea together, the art of gentle longevity, of building a vibrant, joyful life after 60, not through force, but through quiet, loving consistency. I used to believe that self-improvement had to be a battle. I'd read articles about crushing goals and conquering age. My bookshelf was a testament to this struggle, filled with rigid diet plans and punishing workout guides. I remember one particular Monday, armed with a new, expensive blender and a week's worth of kale. I declared war on my habits. By Wednesday, I was miserable. The kale smoothie tasted like lawn clippings, my muscles ached, and I felt utterly deprived. The grand campaign ended with me, a so-called warrior, hiding in my car with a bag of chocolate chip cookies, feeling defeated. It was in that moment of surrender that the real wisdom began to seep in. What if the goal wasn't to fight my body, but to listen to it? What if, instead of taking things away, I started adding things in? A little more sunshine, a little more water, a little more joyful movement, a little more connection with people I love. This shift from deprivation to addition, from force to friendship, changed everything. It's a softer path, a more forgiving journey, and it's the one I want to share with you today. This is a space for that kind of conversation, a place where we honor our own pace and celebrate small, steady steps. If this feels like the community you've been looking for, a place to exhale and be yourself, I would be so delighted if you would subscribe to the channel. It's a simple click, but it means we can continue to build this circle together. And you know, it makes my heart so happy to know who I'm sharing this time with. It turns my monologue into a real conversation. If you're comfortable, please drop your first name and your city in the comments below. Perhaps we have a David from sunny Miami, Florida, or a Susan from the beautiful green hills of Vermont. It's wonderful to feel our connections spanning across the country. Now, let's dive into our first and perhaps most important principle. It's simple, it's profound, and it costs nothing. Principle 1. Welcome the day with light and water. This is about setting the tone for the entire day in the first 5 minutes. Before the demands of the world, the emails, the news, the to-do lists start pulling at you, you claim a moment of peace for yourself. The moment you wake, before anything else, walk to a window. Pull back the curtains wide and just be there for 1 full minute. Don't just look out, truly observe. Is the sky a deep indigo or a soft pearly grey? Can you see the silhouette of a tree against the dawn? Is there a single star still lingering? This simple act of witnessing the morning does something magical to our biology. It signals to a part of our brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus or master body clock that the day has begun. This helps regulate our circadian rhythm, which influences our energy, mood, and sleep quality more than almost anything else. As you stand there, slowly drink a glass of room temperature water. Not icy, which can be a jolt, but just simple purifying water. Imagine it as a gentle rinse for your entire system, rehydrating your cells and waking up your digestive tract after a long night of repair. It's an act of profound kindness to your body. I have a dear friend, Maria, a retired teacher living in Santa Fe, New Mexico. She used to be a self-proclaimed night owl who struggled immensely with mornings. She felt groggy, irritable, and always behind schedule. She decided to try this one simple thing. She bought a beautiful hand-painted ceramic mug that she loved, and every night before bed, she would fill it with water and place it on her windowsill. That mug became her morning anchor. She told me, Mary, at first it was a discipline, now it's a devotion. It's my quiet meeting with the sunrise. I watch the colors change on the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, and I feel like I'm part of something vast and beautiful. The day doesn't happen to me anymore. We begin together. Within a month, her energy levels had transformed. She was no longer fighting her mornings. She was company creating them, So here is your first gentle invitation for the next 3 days. Just 3. Try this simple ritual. Find your window, greet the light, drink your water. Notice how it shifts the feeling of your morning. This isn't a test, it's a practice of self-respect. Principle 2, move with kindness, not command. For many of us, the word exercise is loaded with baggage. It brings up images of crowded gyms, complicated equipment, and the pressure to perform. Let's throw that word out for a moment and replace it with joyful movement. The purpose of moving our bodies in the morning isn't to burn calories or build bulging muscles. It's to say a gentle good morning to our joints, to bring warmth to our muscles, and to encourage our life force, our blood and lymph to flow freely. Here's a simple 7-minute sequence you can do while your kettle dart is on or while you're listening to the morning news. You can do it all while seated comfortably in a sturdy chair. First, let's release the neck and shoulders, the notorious storage units for stress. Sit up tall but not stiff, with your feet flat on the floor. Imagine a string gently pulling the crown of your head toward the ceiling. Now slowly, as if moving through honey, turn your head to look over your right shoulder. Breathe in. As you breathe out, see if you can soften and maybe look a fraction of an inch further. Never push into pain. Return to center and repeat on the left. Do this 3 times on each side. Next, the shoulders. Inhale deeply and draw your shoulders straight up to your ears, creating as much tension as you can. Hold it for a moment. Then, with a sigh, exhale and let them drop completely. Feel the weight of the world slide off. Let's do that 4 more times. This simple movement is a powerful way to actively discharge stored up stress. Now for our amazing hands and feet, our connection to the world. Extend your arms and gently open and close your hands 10 times, really spreading the fingers wide. Then make soft fists and circle your wrists 5 times in each direction. Do the same for your feet. Circle your ankles, point your toes, then flex your feet, pulling your toes back toward your shins. These small, targeted movements are incredible for boosting circulation and easing the stiffness that can settle in overnight. Finally, a gentle twist for the spine, which acts like a wringing out for our internal organs, stimulating digestion and sit tall. Place your right hand on the outside of your left thigh and dot your left hand on the chair beside or behind you for support. Inhale to lengthen your spine, creating space between your vertebrae. As you exhale, gently guide yourself into a twist to the left, leading with your belly, then your ribs, then your shoulders. Your head turns last. Stay here for 3 deep, easy breaths. With each exhale, you might find a little more room to soften into the twist. Slowly unwind back to center and repeat on the other side. I want to tell you about a man named Robert from Charleston, South Carolina. A former postal worker, Robert had spent decades walking his route, but retirement and a bad hip had left him sedentary and in constant pain. His doctor told him to exercise, but the very thought was overwhelming. He started with just one thing from this routine, the ankle circles. He did them every morning while he read the paper. That's it. After a week, he told me he noticed less swelling in his ankles. Encouraged, he added the wrist circles. Then the shoulder shrugs, bit by bit. Over 2 months, he built up to the full seated sequence. He called me, his voice thick with emotion, to say that he had just returned from a walk on the beach with his wife. Something he thought he'd never do again. He didn't start with a marathon, he started with an ankle circle. That is the profound power of a single gentle step. Your invitation for this principle, pick one. Just one of these movements. Maybe it's the shoulder shrugs while you wait for your toast. Do it with curiosity and kindness, and just notice what your body has to say in return. Principle 3, build your plate around protein and color. Let's talk about food. And let's do it without using the word diet. That word is heavy with restriction and rules. Instead, let's think about nourishing and building. Our primary goal with food after 60 is twofold: to maintain our muscle mass and to fight inflammation. The 2 most powerful tools for this are protein and colorful plants. As we get older, our bodies become less efficient at processing protein, a process called anabolic resistance. This means we need to eat a little more of it and spread it out throughout the day just to maintain the muscle we have. Strong muscles are not about vanity, they are our armor. They protect our bones, power our movement, stabilize our joints, and keep our metabolism humming. So here's the gentle rule of thumb: aim to have a source of protein. about the size of your palm with every meal. For breakfast, this could be a couple of eggs. 一汤请一瓶佐治 that breakfast, cool a couple of eggs. A bowl of plain Greek yogurt with berries, or a scoop of cottage cheese. For lunch, perhaps a piece of grilled chicken or salmon on a big salad, a hearty lentil soup or a 3-bean salad. For dinner, a piece of baked fish, lean ground turkey in a sauce, or a bowl of chili with beans. The second part of this principle is color. The vibrant colors in fruits and vegetables, the deep purple of blueberries, the bright orange of a sweet potato, the rich green of spinach are created by compounds called phytonutrients. These are nature's most powerful anti-inflammatory agents. Inflammation is a natural process, but chronic, low-grade inflammation is now understood to be at the root of many age-related conditions. So, your mission is simple. Get as many different natural colors onto your plate as you can each day. Think of it as painting a masterpiece. I want you to meet my friend Margaret from Chicago, Illinois. Margaret was a wonderful baker, famous for her cakes and pastries. Her diet, as she laughingly told me, was mostly beige: bread, pasta, cookies. She was feeling sluggish, her joints ached, and she had no energy. The idea of a radical diet change was completely overwhelming, so we made a game of it. I called it the Rainbow Hunt. Each day, her only goal was to eat one thing from each of 3 different color groups. Something red like a tomato or apple, something yellow, orange like a bell pepper or a peach, and something green like a handful of spinach or some broccoli. That was it. She didn't have to give up her beloved bread, she just had to add the colors. The first week she thought it was silly. The second week, she said she noticed her afternoon slump was gone. By the end of the second month, she called me ecstatic. Mary, she said, I walked 2 miles along Lake Michigan today and my knees didn't ache. And the most amazing thing, I'm starting to crave the colors. I actually want a salad. She didn't fight a war with her cravings. She gently retrained them by adding nourishment, not by creating a void. Your invitation for the next week: go on a rainbow hunt. Don't worry about taking anything away. Just focus on adding a palm-sized portion of protein to your meals, and at least 3 different natural colors to your plate each day. Principle 4, walk, don't run, toward a stronger heart, consistent. Moderate movement is one of the greatest gifts you can give your heart, your brain, and your spirit. You do not need to run a marathon. You do not need to join a high-intensity spin class. One of the most studied and beneficial forms of exercise for people of all ages is simply walking. A brisk walk, meaning you can still talk but you couldn't easily sing, has incredible benefits. It lowers blood pressure, improves cholesterol levels, strengthens your heart muscle, boosts your mood by releasing endorphins, and even enhances brain function. The key is consistency. A minute walk every day is far more beneficial than a 2-hour hike once a month. How do you build this habit gently? You start ridiculously small. Don't commit to a minute walk. Commit to putting on your walking shoes and walking to the end of your driveway and back. That's it. Anyone can do that. The next day, maybe you walk to your neighbor's house. The day after, to the end of the block. You build the habit on a foundation of success, not on a feeling of being overwhelmed. Find a walking anchor, something that makes the walk more enjoyable. It could be a fascinating podcast, an audiobook, a phone call with a friend, or simply the intention to notice all the beautiful gardens in your neighborhood. My brother-in-law, Tom, who lives in a suburb of Dallas, Texas, is a man who loves his routine. He wanted to walk, but he could never seem to make it happen. He always found an excuse. Then he discovered his anchor, the local news. He bought a small, old-fashioned transistor radio, and his walk became his news time. He walks for the usher minutes of the morning news broadcast every single day, rain or shine. He told me, I don't even think about the walk anymore. I just want to hear what's going on in the world. My legs just come along for the ride. He lowered his blood pressure by 2 points in 3 months. He didn't focus on the exercise. He focused on the ritual he built around it. Your gentle invitation. Find your walking shoes. Put them by the door, and tomorrow just walk for 10 minutes, that's all. See where your feet take you. Principle 5. Cherish sleep as your superpower. Sleep is not a luxury. It is a biological necessity. It is during sleep that our body does its most critical repair work. Our brain cleanses itself of metabolic waste, memories are consolidated, our hormones are regulated, and our cells regenerate. A lack of quality sleep is linked to everything from impaired immune function, Dr. Bites, and weight gain to an increased risk of heart disease and dementia. Honoring our sleep is one of the most profound acts of self-care we can engage in. As we age, our sleep architecture naturally changes. We may find it harder to fall asleep or stay asleep. This is normal, but there is so much we can do to create the conditions for deep restorative rest. The key is to create a calming, consistent bedtime ritual. This signals to your brain and body that it's time to wind down. Your ritual might look something like this. An hour before bed, dim the lights in your home. This signals your brain to start producing melatonin, the sleep hormone. Turn off the screens. The blue light from phones, tablets, and TVs is particularly disruptive to melatonin production. Instead, pick up a book, listen to calming music, or do a puzzle. Take a warm bath or shower for shower. Take a warm bath or shower. The drop in body temperature when you get out is another powerful sleep signal. Add some Epsom salts to soothe tired muscles. Do a brain dump. Keep a notebook by your bed. Before you turn out the light, write down anything that's worrying you. Any tasks you need to remember for tomorrow. Get them out of your head and onto the paper. Finally, once you're in bed, do a simple body scan. Bring your attention to your toes and consciously soften them. Then your feet, your ankles, your calves. Work your way all the way up your body, just inviting each part to be heavy and relaxed. Most people are asleep before they reach their knees. I have a friend in Seattle, Washington, a retired nurse named Brenda. She was a chronic insomniac, a habit from decades of shift work. She would lie in bed for hours, her mind racing. We worked on creating a ritual for her. She started with a cup of chamomile tea and a single rule: no screens in the bedroom. Her bedroom became a sanctuary for sleep and reading only. Then she added the brain dump. She called it her worry book. She told me the physical act of writing down her anxieties seemed to rob them of their power. The final piece for her was a weighted blanket, which she said felt like a gentle, reassuring hug. It took time, but Brenda now sleeps through the night most nights. She didn't conquer her insomnia. She created the conditions for peace to enter. Your invitation: choose one thing, just one, to create a more peaceful transition to sleep. Maybe it's dimming the lights, maybe it's a cup of herbal tea, or maybe it's declaring your bedroom a screen-free zone. Introduce it gently and see how your body responds. Principle 6. Cultivate connection as a daily vitamin. Loneliness is a significant health risk, on par with smoking or obesity. We are social creatures, wired for connection. Meaningful relationships are not a nice to have. They are essential for our mental, emotional, and even physical health. As we age, our social circles can sometimes shrink, which means we have to be more intentional about cultivating connection. This doesn't mean you have to become a social butterfly. It's about the quality, not the quantity, of your interactions. Make a weekly phone date with a friend or family member. Join a group that shares your interests, a book club, a gardening society, a walking group, a choir, volunteer. Sharing your time and talents is a powerful way to build community and find a renewed sense of purpose. Practice micro-connections. Chat with the cashier at the grocery store. Smile and say good morning to your neighbors. Compliment someone. These small moments of positive human interaction accumulate and can significantly boost your sense of well-being. I want to tell you about my neighbor, Arthur. After his wife passed away, he became very isolated. He'd wave from his porch, but that was it. One day I noticed he had the most beautiful rose bushes. I went over and told him so. His face lit up in 20 minutes. The next week, I saw him talking to another neighbor about their lawn. He had found his opening. Arthur joined the local gardening club, and it has given him a new lease on life. He has a community, a purpose, and he's sharing his gift with others. His connection started with a single compliment about a rose, your gentle invitation. Reach out to one person this week. A phone call, a text, an email, or a chat over the fence. Just a small act to say, I'm thinking of you. It is a gift to them, but it is also a profound gift to yourself. Principle 7, practice gratitude as a mental muscle. This may be the most powerful principle of all. The human brain has a natural negativity bias. It's a survival mechanism left over from ancient times, always scanning for threats. But in our modern world, this can leave us stuck in a loop of worry and complaint. Gratitude is the conscious act of overriding this default setting. It is the practice of actively looking for the good. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It's about noticing the small everyday gifts. The comfort of your favorite chair, the taste of your morning coffee, the sound of bird song outside your window. The fact that your body is breathing without you having to think about it. The easiest way to build this muscle is with a gratitude journal. Every evening, before you sleep, write down 3 specific things that you are grateful for from that day. Not just my family, but the way my granddaughter laughed on the phone today. Not just a nice day, but the feeling of the warm sun on my arms during my walk. The more specific you are, the more you train your brain to see these moments of grace throughout your day. This practice has been scientifically shown to reduce stress, improve sleep, increase happiness, and even lower blood pressure. It shifts your entire perspective from one of scarcity to one of abundance. I keep my own little journal, and some days it's easy. Had a wonderful lunch with a friend, saw a beautiful sunset. But some days it's hard. On those days, my entries might be, my old, comfortable sweater felt so soft today. The soup I heated up for dinner was warm and nourishing. I am grateful for this bed. There is always something. Finding it is the practice. It is a quiet act of defiance against despair. It is choosing to see the light, no matter how small the flame. A gentle closing, so there you have it, 7 gentle principles. Not a rigid set of rules, but a series of invitations, an invitation to greet the day with light, to move with kindness, to nourish your body with color and protein, to walk toward a stronger heart, to cherish your sleep, to cultivate connection, and to practice gratitude. You don't have to do all of them at once. Remember my friend Frank, who started with a single shoulder shrug. Or Maria, who started with one beautiful mug by her window. Pick one. Just one thing that resonated with you today. Let that be your gentle start. This journey is not about achieving perfection. It's about making progress, one soft step at a time. It's about becoming the most compassionate, loyal, and loving friend to the wonderful person you are right now today. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me. It is a gift to be in community with you. Be well, be kind to yourselves, and I will see you again soon.